Thank you all once again for joining me on this journey, today's urgency meeting, again and always about resilience. I want to get into this subject as you identified and were interested in as far as the title, the side piece. But of course, I want you also to note the spelling of those two words. The second word, actually, piece, not what's been utilized in common language in rap, hip hop, or even occasionally in another engagement. But the side piece has been used as, P-I-E-C-E, side piece. But when I use that title, it was intentional to spell that side piece or the piece word as P-E-A-C-E. That was intentional and kind of like tongue-in-cheek as well, giving you a bit of levity and hopefully something interesting for you to check out in this episode. But now let's get into something a little more serious and with some substance and some context. So while the term side piece, P-I-E-C-E, is like an urban legend thing and loosely used but widely used as well, and perhaps that term has been actually executed and accepted as a term nowadays, the side piece. But I think that means or infers that in a relationship, for context, with one other person, I guess that person would be your main piece, I guess, or your main squeeze back in the 60s and 70s. That side piece, in contrast, appears to represent the additional or extra or backup piece to the main dish, or the person, if you will, in your life. Now, even with the construct of this discussion today, if it makes sense to you and truth to you, to me, to use that side piece in the colloquial way, P-I-E-C-E, to me that sounds very disrespectful and ignorant to minimize or diminish a loving human being to a thing, to an inanimate object that can be used and or replaced. To me, I don't like that at all. But I thought I would at least clarify the sound of the title of this episode and to make the distinction and reason for at once using the sound of those words in that title. And then to justify and clarify the spelling and the meaning of the words. And then I want to question and point out exactly the opposite perspective. So I'm talking about your peace, your peace, your P-E-A-C-E peace. To me, that should not or ever be your side piece, or as an afterthought of your existence and expression of your beauty here and now. I'm speaking of the peace, the P-E-A-C-E, installed in you, insisted in you even before your birth. That should remain the focus, the essential focus and direction of you and all that you were born to do in your life here. And from the love given to you to share, to appreciate, to deliver, and to enjoy. You cannot rely on or commit to producing from your talents, your resilience, from a perspective other than your internal peace. Now, if you intend to sustain or maintain that vibrational current called love within you through negativity or disruptions to that peace. Certainly, we all will encounter difficult and or challenging situations or conditions that serve to disturb or distract us from our natural state of peace. That's where my guarantee about this thing called resilience comes into play. if you had an opportunity to listen to other episodes in the 820 Enterprise, I guaranteed in every separate episode, my intention is to change your perspective on this present moment in these 500 seconds with me. But for more context that I haven't shared with you much before, or for further clarification, from this moment that you spend with me, I do desire to not only change your perspective on what drives you, your discipline, your beauty, your courage, your vanity, for example. I would also like to widen your perspective, if only for the few 820 episodes you choose to experience with me. Not to run away or step away from a pressing or pressure-backed situation. But it would serve you well to breathe, to take a breath, instead of an instant knee-jerk type reaction. Because see, then the A and then B process is not as relevant to you or as useful to you. It would help if you would take or accept the input, the action received, before you automatically jump to step B and react. Insert that pause, that reflection, that parallax step to a side, a subconscious assessment, if you will. A return to the peace of your heart that then feeds your mind. That's between what I'm offering to you, a perspective. Put that pause between the action and your response to an inspiration or an input or an event or a comment. Don't just use or apply a reaction. I hope that gives you another way to adapt to your day and the moments within this day. I appreciate why a dear friend of mine often says or greets or departs our conversations with the words and spirit of peace and love, peace and love. I get it now. They are one in the same. The substance of love, the substance of peace. That's not hard to find. Either one of those, the love or the peace. Not hard to find and difficult to lose. You'll find it or recover it from the same place within you, from your heart, your main source and inspiration of love and peace, at your core and not ever on the side. Stay present, stay current, no matter where you are in this world. Right now, today, it is always 820.